It is the Sports Fix here on Flow FM, and let's have a look at great Flinders football now. Time to catch up with a man who is, he's sorting out sheep at the moment. He's taking some time out to speak to us about footy, though. Chris Prime, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, Regs.
Yeah.
Started shearing, so yes, always a tad busy.
Just jumped in on you there. I was about to give you a bit of a plug. Nantura Stud, when's the sale on this year?
Thought I have to think about that. Our 30th of August.
Right.
So we've got a little bit of time up our sleeves, but yeah, just 8 months shearing at the moment. So so beautiful cold mornings or cool mornings to start the day.
Oh yeah, nice and fresh your way there around Tumby Bay, mate. But how are the flock looking before we get into the footy? Give us the full rundown. We've got people listening all over the Flow Network today. So what have you got on offer?
Oh, look, we pretty much grow, that 90 to 100 mil in 8 months, and haven't milled since 2008. So we're tackling all those issues head on, and have been for a while, and seem to come through without too many hassles. So a quick growing sheep that's got good length of wool and pretty carefree. All the buzz phrases, I guess you'd say, just like a good car salesman.
Happy days, mate. Do they go all right on the barbecue?
All sheep go all right on the barbecue, except the old rams. You don't use them for too much of that because they're a tad chewy.
Fair enough. All right. Well, now we've got that's Nantura, folks. Look out for the sale coming up later on. But let's talk about Tumby Bay and, more importantly, great Flinders football. So we'll start with your boys, Tumby Bay, who took on United. I think this is the third occasion in 11 rounds you've played them, and just a lazy 155 points too good for them, you were?
Yeah, look, and it was right from the word go. I think it was 7 goals to nothing at quarter time, or maybe that was when I got out of the change rooms. I can't remember actually. So it was right from the word go. The boys were just on top, just too much depth right over the ground, which was probably disappointing for United, because I think the last 2 or 3 weeks they've really pushed sides for that quarter or a half, and I think it was a little bit of a step back for them Saturday. Yeah,
you're right. Actually, they had been improving, but this one is a step back. Takes their percentage back below 20%, which is staggering, really, when you think about it. But more importantly for Tumby Bay, it gives you a shot in the arm percentage-wise, and keeps you in third spot ahead of Lock. With the chasing pack is Ramblers and Cummins Capini. So now you're 2 games and a fair amount of percentage clear of them. So certainly you've put 1 foot in the finals race, that's for sure. Austin Momfries continues on his good form up front as well. He kicked 5. And Jason, tell us about this bloke. He kicked another 4, and he's been a handy recruit.
He has. He's one of those blokes I would have hated to stand. He can turn on a dime, and pretty hard to catch. Just a real little live wire. Just continues to give everything every week, and most weeks you'll end up bob up with 1 or 2, and just magic little footballer to watch.
Loving some of these names and the best players for Tumby as well. What about the new generation coming? Jaeger Cross. Wow, there's a name.
It's not Jaeger Bomb. I'll just correct you. It is Jagger.
Jagger.
Yeah, because he might get confused with a Jaeger Bomb then.
Jagger Cross, but the name Cross, obviously, as far as Tumby Bay goes, brings back some memories. And then you've got Oz Richardson, who we've spoken about before. So some famous names, Sons of Guns coming through.
Yeah, very much so. Jagger's one of those young kids that's just finding his way a bit. He's just finding out he has to work a little bit harder in A grade than he has in the past, and he's just starting to come into some form, which is good. And Oz has been outstanding, either in Colts or in A grade, especially right throughout the year.
Yeah. Right, Ramblers took on the top side, United Yolanda. Their undefeated run continues, 15-6-96. Ramblers 4-5-29. So Ramblers keep on battling away, but look, that I think margin probably sums up where they're at.
Oh, look, it does, and Saturday wasn't ideal. There was a few scuddy showers blown across, so quite a bit of the day. The ball was a little bit like soap, but look, Yolanda's an older, experienced side, and Ramblers is a younger side developing, and I see Ramblers as where Yolanda was probably 10 or 12 years ago. If they can keep those younger players around with a few old heads, well, they'll become a very good side.
Yep, they will. Matty Cretton doing the damage up front with 7 of their 15. Proctor as well is a name I'm not familiar with. Dalton Proctor, he booted 3. Aaron Laurie, the only other multiple on the ground, he kicked 2. Aaron Watson named best with Matty Cretty. Let's move now to the match of the round, which was Elliston Districts taking on Lock. I guess you'd say, the neighbours going at it, so to speak. Elliston Districts there and Lock, but look, Lock didn't toss the towel in here, and they could have at quarter time. They were getting soundly beaten. They were 20 points down at the quarter-time break and ended up going down by 15. So after that first quarter, a very even contest, particularly after half-time.
Oh, look, and that's what Lock brings. Lock never gives in. You're going to get an effort for 4 quarters. And a lot of sides, if they get down in that 5 or 10, 15-minute mark, struggle, but Lock just seems to be able to keep fighting. And probably since I've been in Great Flinders, it's one of the things about Lock, it doesn't matter how they're travelling, they're going to give you absolutely everything. And, it is a credit to the whole side. And, Saturday showed that, after being down, they fought and held and found a way just to stay in the game and sort of claw their way back. But Ellison have just got too many guns over the whole oval. So, Ellison will be happy with the win. They probably would have happier if they won by a bit more, but they'll be more than happy with the points on the board and pretty much cemented second spot, I would think.
Yep. 6 goals to 4 in the last quarter as the game opened up. Very entertaining, but Lock just a little off the pace there. Travie Beer booted 5, best goal kicker on the ground. Tom Gibson booted 4 for Elliston Districts. And I'm interested with this one. Cody Rosalia named their best, second best behind Zane Montgomery. Didn't kick a goal. That tells me that he's playing and spending more time in the midfield, which he played a lot of junior football there, I think, Cody. And if he can get going in the middle of the ground, he's going to be hard to stop too. So he's got a tank about him these days. I'm not sure who goes with him because he's a fair old athlete, that boy.
Yeah, look, it is one of those things. Being I think he's a bit of a natural forward, but being able to play on ball as well and do that on ball work actually also allows you to sneak, let's call it sneak forward and kick goals. Like a lot of time on ballers get away from their opponents, like just moving into the forward lines and get given that bit of space. So I know against Tumby a few times when he's been on ball, he's kicked 2 or 3 goals, just drifting into the forward lines. Everyone's looking around and saying, who's picking him up? Well, it's normally not the backman, it's normally an on-baller that hasn't come down with him.
Yeah. Well, Elliston District safely into second spot on the ladder now, 2 games and percentage clear of Tumby Bay. And while we're talking about Elliston Districts, let's stay with them because in round 12 of matches, and there is, count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games to go, including this game on Saturday. Elliston District's taking on Air United. They're not going to lose this one at Ungara. And Cody
Is that
Rosalia,
next week, though?
Yeah, that's right, because this week we've got Kinlow Cup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So Kinlow and Pedlar Cup.
Yes.
Now, does this mean you're playing the same weekend as the country champs, or what's going on with the country champs?
We do. We get to play the weekend of the country champs, but we obviously all miss this weekend for Kinlow.
Yeah. So it's an interesting one, this one, because I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Primey, but once upon a time, Kinlow Cup and country champs lined up on the same weekend, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
That falls back to they'll get struck down by lightning. The SAFL with a glitch in their programming, and we've been assured that it'll be corrected again next year and go back on the same weekend.
As it should, because there are other competitions around, I believe, that are they having 2 weeks off? I mean, Great Flinders had to get permission to play on this weekend, didn't you?
Yes, that's correct. I think this year would be the last year that would be granted. So hopefully it goes back to the same weekend. The likes of Eastern Air, they've got the 2 weekends off in a row, which also coincide with school holidays. So for some, that's a bit of a bonus, but it also means you lose any momentum you've got in the middle of the season.
Well, not just that, there's a bye in that comp. So there's going to be a couple of teams that'll have 3 weeks off in a row, which almost have to do a mini pre-season to come back from that.
Oh, look, I've got a nephew playing for Port, so we talk footy every Monday, so it is a bit of an issue. It means you get probably a week off if you're a bit sore, and some of them just travel. Like, let's throw him under the Flinders Darwin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like it is the life of some people get to live. Like when work gets hard, you just go on holidays.
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a good job if you can get it.
So what have you heard about the Kinlow team anyway for Great Flinders? A few boys in it?
There will be a few in it. I actually haven't seen the side at this stage, and I've talked to the coaches, and I think from last year's team, they'll be pretty happy with the guys coming in as I guess first year Kinlow players, like the ones coming out of under 15. So that's where your Oz Richardsons and those guys that are just out, guys that are playing A grade footy regularly, but still in the under 16s comp. Your Will Turners, your Brody Stratfords, those guys. I just think that they will add to the side. Like there's a few top ages, but like the bottom ages are quality footballers that are coming in. So I think they'll be very competitive.
All right. Well, mate, that's where we'll leave it this week. Kinlow this weekend. Good luck to everyone across the EP playing in that, the youngsters, and for those that get to put their feet up and rest their weary bones, Primey included. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, mate.
Look, I will try. Hey, just one thing, Regs. I did see a post today from EP Footy.
Actually, yes, I do apologise. This was put on the agenda by yourself, and it kind of directly ties into, well, a topic we've been talking about on this program in the past, so umpire abuse. But what is it that you guys are doing? Because this is a little different.
Well, I don't think it is. I think it's almost follows the directive that's come from the AFL. So pretty much if you abuse the umpire, they have the right to either award a free kick, 25 or 50 metre penalty if you've already had a free kick.
Now, this is for spectators, though, isn't it? It's not. We're not talking players. Yeah.
I know this is players, spectators, officials.
Right. Okay.
This is across the board. Now, this has been in place. Like while it's been advertised as an EP thing, I believe Great Flinders have done this for a while, where umpires are allowed to award free kicks or 50s with it's generally been abuse from near the coach's box, I'm not saying in the coach's box, but it's generally around the coach's box. If I hear it come from there, then I have seen free kicks awarded for that. It's I guess a tool that we can cut down on abuse. And now I'm probably one that possibly could be living in a glass house here, because I would have suffered greatly for this rule. But I believe, I got yellow carded a few times for these actions, and did it calm me down? 10 minutes off didn't calm me down, it just made me worse. But the fact if a 25 metre penalty or a 50 metre penalty or a free kick, or I gave a goal up and my side suffered for that straight away, I believe that would have shut me up a lot quicker, because it's instant. Where you go off for 10 minutes, you're stewing your own anger. So I think it's a good move. And I believe that quite a few of our umpires have been doing it anyway, and and I think that's fine. Like I've got a couple of mates that have umpired, and I've given 50 metres away for giving them a serve, and they just smile at me, and I smile back, because we both know that I can't stop it. And we go and have a quiet beer after the game and discuss it. And I think it's the right way to go, because it will encourage umpires, but it means that if we stop the abuse first, stay at the start, it filters through. Like what happens in our senior footy filters through to our junior footy. What they see on TV filters through to them. So, I think following this is the right way to go.
Interesting. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. I guess it's an interesting development. I understand that we need to, and I've spoken out about this. The spectator behaviour worries me a little bit, maybe even less so than what happens on the field sometimes. But I'm always loath to have spectator behaviour cost any team on the field a penalty of any sort. But I can understand why it's being implemented, and I understand the logic behind it. I don't know if there are better ways of punishing spectators who engage in that sort of behaviour than perhaps costing their team on the field. However, that said, I can't think of a more effective way of getting people in the stands to shut up if their team on the field is suffering because they've abused an umpire. Peer pressure tends to take over at that point, and there'll be a few other people telling them to pipe down too.
Look, and it does, but footy's pretty emotional, and at times you just can't help yourself. And it's a case of being able to find that balance. And I think it'll be like the AFL, where it was probably over-policed to begin with, and then it found a medium as far as players go. I don't think the spectator abuse is as bad, well, speaking Great Flinders, as maybe elsewhere. But, yeah, there is still cases of it, so, yeah.
Interesting chat, that one. What are your thoughts? Send us an email, news@flowfm.com.au. Chris Prime, great chatting with you, mate. Enjoy the weekend off.
No worries, thanks, Craig.